bar inside and the circular outside.
There's going to be multiple
So
circles.
you increase the pressure inside and down. Correct?
We're
Because
trying
the weight of
Right. Yeah.
material.
Because what's happening now is patients have to physically pull down.
Correct. So
So what we want
how
to
much
do-
weight will cause effect on the car?
So really
The hand down very strong, but the two little members,
most of like her mom, for example, especially in her later months of recovery, the force up is caused by the scar already being formed. And of course, you're trying to get to the patient before the scar is formed, so it's more like loose tissue. That the issue is more the main issue with the force is there is the sutures sewing together, and that eventually causes rise, lip to rise. But if we can get the tissue before it starts scarring up, we don't see the up as an issue. It's more just making sure it kind of stays in the same place.
So after surgery, immediately apply that?
Almost
Dr.
immediately.
Yellen
yes, sir.
said that once he felt the patient could go ahead and apply it, they would wear it anywhere from 6 to 18 months. And they probably wouldn't start wearing it until about 2 weeks post-op.
Okay, so 2 to 3 weeks, the collagen healing. And you start to tear the scar to build up new collagen.
Right. We're going to break down the collagen that's in
The
there.
prevent collagen, to build up new collagen.
Yes.
Of course, during this time, this patient during the 2 to 3 weeks would already be physically pulling, or
No.
Okay.
So you don't have photo pulling down.
No, sir.
So the pressure again that.
It's the pressure is going to cause force normal to the plane of the lip, which if you take your finger and do this, you're forcing your lip down. Like my lip is already close, my upper lip is already closer to my lower lip, just by this normal.
See the circular muscle surrounding that, right? They are circular. They're independent, is circular. So you respect the direction there. You tear the collagen. It's really different. You cut the collagen in half. So the scar will begin to. Don't you want to pull it away? To tear the collagen after the healing? To build up the new collagen? You would want to reduce the scar.
Oh, well, so the purpose of the magnet is that with that force that you're, that normal force that you're applying, it's going to extend in all directions once you have the magnetic field. Like if you take, and you just do this to the board, you're not extending force in all directions. It's normal force. But when you have two magnets coming together, that surface area, yeah, the force is going to go down left and right.
So you want to add on to the patient?
You would like to, but you don't know anyone that has skin cancer.
So the medium between the two magnets is muscle, tendon, fatty acid, all that stuff. How do you test that?
Yeah.
Right, how do you test it?
With answers. We're going to model them with their own properties, hopefully with the help of Dr. Hamish.
With multiple
Layers.
Yeah, they're all going to be their own layer in the ANSYS model, and each layer is going to have the correct properties, densities, viscosities. You know, it's all going to have its own realistic, real-life properties. Within the software, we can assign those properties.
So what the positive result?
A positive result would be not only a not as noticeable scar, but even better, it would be advanced healing. You know, we're encouraging the healthy healing, especially with the silicone. There's a lot of research about silicone using as a complement to traditional wound dressings, stimulating fibroblasts, helping it heal faster, and also just less of this appearance, less of this recession. If I can show you the recession here. I apologize. So her lip is a completely different shape. The cupid's bow is completely absent now. And if this is the center line, you can tell there's asymmetry between the left and right sides. And if you can kind of see it if I outline the scar here. Hopefully we can get to it before that scar causes that recession.
They have a steroid tape.
Tape?
Steroid tape.
Steroid tape?
Reduce the scar develop. A lot of scar high, hyper, keloid, keloid scar, some
Yeah,
reason
yes.
with that. So that steroid tape will reduce that, produce.
And maybe that's something we could look into instead of the silicone gel.
Yeah.
Just put steroid tape
Right.
in between the two.
That affect a lot.
Yeah.
I worry about the result, how you prove that is better. That's what I'm worried about.
That's why we,
Engineering analysis behind any computer is just prediction.
right.
For
That's why we
clinical
want
tests.
to take the theoretical data and,
Right.
you know, if it's not even enough to move, if it's, you know, this device is just not going to be effective enough
Right.
to justify mass production, then unfortunately that will be the conclusion that we draw. But if the theoretical data suggests just enough to take it and for Dr. Yellen to use this device, if it's enough to justify, then he's willing to use it with his patients if they agree. And that's where we'll get our final data on the effectiveness.
But he doesn't have any patients scheduled within our time frame for us to give one of our prototypes to someone who just recently got out of surgery. So all we really have is her mom, who's now, what,
18 months
post-op.
So for the CDR, what do they leave it to it and tell it? This is better than current design.
It'll all have to be based on the theoretical data.
The other thing is there is no current design, it's just natural healing.
Yeah.
So it's more about if it does the pressure and the moisture barrier as well as we expect it to. Because there is no design already right now, it's nothing compared to something right now.
Then you could present and convince us, we are customer, we are company, want to buy the device. How you prove to me that I want to buy the device though?
My interpretation of what you're asking is, for this project, it might have to shift. It might not be, I'm selling you the device.
Right.
It might be, I'm convincing you to let me take this device into surgical testing.
You know, there's always the research and the design aspect that interplays here in senior design. And senior design is senior design. So whether your device works or doesn't work is immaterial. You almost should have been given a set of design specs to apply a device that will put 0.5 to 6 PSI on the lip. And if you can prove that, you've done your job. Now somebody goes out and says, will this really work to reduce scarring and reduce the pulling of the lip up? So you were kind of a little backwards here in that you were never given those specs to design.
Because they don't exist.
But if you come up at the CDR time and say, I have a device now that will be able to apply X to Z amount of PSI on the lip, it's comfortable to wear, etc., then you'll have done your job.
And that is the plan. That's exactly what we want to be able to say.
You had a usability test on there? Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Okay.
What I mean is, oh, somebody choked, that's not good.
Of course, this is the third test, sorry.
You know, you're gonna wanna do some roughhousing on this thing beforehand, right?
Yes, sir.
Really try to
Oh,
twist
yeah.
it and,
That's in our,
If we go back to our safety, of course, this
We're going to try.
sleep,
we're
monitored
gonna-
sleep along
yeah.
with this
We're
measuring
gonna,
is.
we're gonna mess with it. Safety's
Okay.
first.
Alright. So we want to make sure, of course, this was as perfect as we can get it for you and continue to comfort. Because, of course, if
Yeah.
it's not safe, then it's not worth it. You continue. Because that was another concern we had, like, how rough could it, like how rough a sleep could you do, like tossing and turning and
It's
I
like
don't know, slap yourself in the face while you're asleep is a
to
dream.
dislodge
Well,
from the resting
I
position.
think you got a little bit of a misnomer there. Usability has to do with how easy it is to put in, how comfortable it is, not if something's gonna be dislodged. That's a safety issue.
Okay, so.
So this should have been reworded to its actual, because see, the whole purpose of this usability is the prolong, or that's, this actually kind of went along with our comfort. This is kind of going at the same time as our comfort, which that three night time span, where you are kind of real world testing it a little more.
But we can readjust that.
You just don't wanna put failures in there in
Okay.
terms of the usability.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
that magnet out
Yeah,
and put it
it's
in
like-
there. And the only other thing is that attachment of that flap. I mean, I know it's just silicone or
Yeah.
silicone, but
It could
is
rip,
it gonna
but
be
yeah.
sturdy enough, like
Yeah.
you said, to start yanking
Yeah.
the fluid on it? I've worn that mouthpiece many times back in my younger days. I know how crazy that was, but to have that flap around, it's strong enough.
Yeah.
And of course, we can adjust the thickness of the actual and the surface area that connects to kind of help that out a little more. We don't have, we didn't look at an optimal
Yeah.
surface area to actually connect that with first.
Dr. Vaughn?
I know the divide difficult to prove. If you can prove the stretching level by on the pressure change, that's important.
Okay, stretch,
Stretching
stretch.
muscle pressure.
Because you want to tear the scar, right?
Yes, sir.
So how much you tear,
How much pressure do
how
you
much pressure
take this scar?
cause the change in dimension over time.
The
Okay.
problem is there's just not a lot of research on that for this area. So
Is the
maybe
area-
we'll
Extends
have
on the
to-
mirrors can measure how much is stretching.
On what do you mean? I'm sorry.
Extends on mirror change in the dimension.
Right.
So you want to see how much they move.
But
speed.
it doesn't necessarily have to be specific to this vessel. As far as what you're looking
If you put two magnets and they into the pressure, how much they change.
Right.
Too strong is too much, right?
Right.
Too
Absolutely.
little doesn't affect.
Right.
So what is the optimal?
What's
To
that?
cause
Go
actual-
Go back and research on this, how you remember on rubber tape, they impact and then change in the scar and how they change over day. They have some research so that.
Yeah, we just can't find anything on this area. So maybe if we,
It's the area.
Mucous
enough
membrane,
on-
mucous membrane scar.
You
you can,
remember?
okay,
You have
okay,
to search specific, otherwise you don't see it.
okay. That is a great help. I've had soundboarding times with Dr. Thomas where we thought like maybe we can look at the thenar space, like she and I,
No.
we were trying to find
The
something else.
mucous
comparable.
membrane different from scar. They're carbon different.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, that's what I
So,
mean.
so you gotta burn the skin, no. It's not easy project. It's tough project.
We learned that after about
We're
a
figuring
few
that
months.
out.
When you came to tell me that, I said, uh-oh.
We're figuring that out. But it's also really cool. It's something to be excited about.
And we're all-
Any clinical project is difficult.
Yes, sir.
You take a human,
And of course, that's what we, yeah.
you take a cadaver, you take a human.
Yeah. And originally, I
It's not
wanted to
easy.
test a cadaver, but of course, a cadaver is living tissue, so it's
Right.
not
It's
going
gonna be
to
totally
fix
different.
itself.
No blood, everything
Yeah.
No blood.
contracted. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so hard to do.
And of course, I'd rather not cut my lip open and test it out
Yeah.
myself, so.
So.
I'm already about to shave my mustache to fix
test
the
the
device.
device.
Well, that's what I like what Dr. O'Brien said, if you just came up with, or if your
Pressure.
person came up with a pressure or force requirement.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot better.
design around
Maybe
it.
that's something that we could really talk to Dr. Gillen about, since he's so familiar with this. He might have an idea of what's safe there.
You know, they
You
make
can ask him.
force-sensitive resistors, a little disc about like yay, and, you know, they're not gonna, you could quantify it by, you know, putting X amount of pressure on it and seeing what it gives you out, et cetera, but you could insert some of those or one of those between your skin and your outer loop, and you might be able to quantify things
Yeah.
that way.
Would be even better than theoretical data. That was
Yes.
real data. Okay, I will schedule a time to meet with you in your office to find out more about that, so I can hopefully order one.
Other questions from anybody else?
So, peanut gallery?
I wasn't gonna say that. Okay, we don't have your client here
Correct.
for final permission to proceed, so as far as I think your tech advisor, you're probably okay to go, but we need
Yes,
Dr.
permission
Gillen.
from your client.
Would you like a direct way to contact him, or would you like it, can we
It would be
mediate
through
that?
us.
I think you can mediate it, I'll
Okay.
trust you to do that.
Okay. We'll
And
put
he
this on
can just
YouTube
send
for
you
him.
an email
Yeah,
Okay.
with, you know,
Written consent.
yes.
Okay.
okay.
Or any suggestions that he has on your PDR or whatever, and I'm assuming that.
He's
since
read the
you videotaped,
document.
Yes.
He's already read that, and I'm
Mhm.
assuming he'll see
Yeah, he'll
this.
watch this.
So, yeah, if he'll just send you an email that you can then send
Show
us,
you.
you'll have permission to proceed.
Wonderful.
Sir.
Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
time.